Hello students, welcome to online classes of geography of class 9. This is my second class of your chapter number 4, climate. In the previous class, I discussed about some basic concepts related to this chapter, the elements of weather and climate, the difference between weather and climate, the meaning of the term monsoon, from where it has been derived, and some connectivity, some relationship between temperature and pressure, pressure and wind, and wet air and dry air, that is exerting pressure, all these concepts, and about the explanation of that seasonal reversal of the wind direction. Now the topic that I am going to discuss today are, again I am going to proceed with monsoon, some regional variations of the climate, and what are the factors that influence the climatic condition, like the climate controls. Now let us start with the first topic. Now you can see a picture of a globe is there and a map is there. Now as the earth is revolving, I'm using the word revolving, what happens at that particular period of time, or at a certain period of time, this Tropic of Cancer receives direct sun rays. Okay, it receives direct sun rays. So when this Tropic of Cancer faces direct sun rays, due to this revolution of the earth, what happens? You can see this blue structure here also, it is there. What is this? It is ocean surface, and this is land surface. So when direct sun rays are there on the Tropic of Cancer, which part of this entire picture, I am using the word picture over here, I am using the word map over here, which part will heat it up fast, the land or the water? Obviously land. We studied in the previous class that land heats up faster and it cools down faster. So the land surface will heat up faster. The temperature will go high, and when temperature increases, what happens with the pressure? Pressure decreases. So it will develop a zone of low pressure. And where the high pressure zone is there at that time, it is there on the water body, means the Indian Ocean. That is, this is Indian Ocean and this is Indian landmass. So when high pressure is there on the Indian Ocean, where the winds will blow? Winds will blow from Indian Ocean to Indian landmass. Okay, winds will blow from Indian Ocean to Indian landmass. Now again due to revolution, Tropic of Capricorn, I am just drawing a line over here, the Tropic of Capricorn. This is the place. Tropic of Capricorn is not there in our country. It doesn't crosses our country. It is there in the southern hemisphere. So Tropic of Capricorn faces the direct sun rays. So when Tropic of Capricorn is facing the direct sun rays, what will be the resultant with the temperature of Indian landmass and Indian Ocean? Indian landmass will have low temperature and Indian Ocean will have high temperature. Okay, so when Indian landmass is having low temperature, what will be the pressure? Indian landmass will have high pressure and Indian Ocean will have low pressure. Again I am repeating it. When Tropic of Capricorn is facing the direct sun rays, that means our country is getting inclined sun rays. As a result, the Indian landmass is having low temperature. That means our country is experiencing winter season at that time. And when we are having low temperature, the pressure condition is high. So Indian landmass is having high pressure, and Indian Ocean, which is there as a water surface, it is having a higher temperature, and when it is having a high temperature, then it will have low pressure. So when this is the case, from where to where the winds will blow? Winds will blow from Indian landmass to Indian Ocean. Indian landmass to Indian Ocean. So what is it? Indian landmass to Indian Ocean. Now just see this part. When I am writing it over here for your clarification. When high temperature is equal to low pressure is equal to low pressure. So what is it? Now I am just proceeding with it. When it is having a high temperature, it will have a low pressure. It will have a low pressure. Okay. And if it is there, this condition is there for the land mass. This condition is there for the land mass. It will be a zone of attraction. It will attract the winds from the oceanic body, and when it will attract the wind from the oceanic body, zone of attraction, when it will attract the winds from the oceanic body, what type of wind it will be? It will be moisture laden wind. It will be moisture laden wind. Okay. Now just the opposite condition, when high temperature to low pressure is there over the oceans, high temperature with the low pressure is there over the oceans. So oceans will be the zone of attraction, and what type of winds they will receive? They will receive dry winds from the land. They will receive dry winds from the land. So what does this indicate? This is only termed as seasonal reversal of wind direction. This is termed as seasonal reversal of wind direction. Okay, hopefully you got the concept, you all got the concept here. What is seasonal reversal of wind direction? When winds are blowing from Indian Ocean to Indian landmass, the moisture laden winds are getting attracted towards the Indian landmass, and when winds are blowing from Indian landmass to Indian Ocean, the dry winds are approaching towards the Indian Ocean. And why this change of direction is taking place? It is due to the revolution of the earth. Tropic of Cancer facing the direct sun rays, Indian Ocean is allowing the winds to go to the Indian landmass. And when Tropic of Capricorn faces the direct sun rays, Indian landmass releases the wind towards Indian Ocean. Hopefully I am able to explain the concept behind the seasonal reversal of wind direction. Now let us move to the next part. Regional variation in the climate. Regional variation in the climate. Now you can see it's a map of our country, and I am explaining the regional variation of the climatic condition. Now regional variation in the climatic condition, I am taking two elements of the weather and climate. First I am going to take an element of temperature. Now when it is a summer season, okay, when it is a summer season, the temperature in this part, touches 50 degree. Here it is 15 degree. Here it is 20 degree, and here it is 28 degree. Summer season, this part we are having 50 degree. Here we are having 15 degrees Celsius. In this region we are getting 20 degrees Celsius, and in this region we are getting 28 degrees Celsius. Okay. It is a summer season, but there is a variation of temperature. Now why it is so, I'll explain it just after this topic. Now if we see the winter season, here the temperature reaches by minus 45 degrees Celsius. A place is there in Jammu and Kashmir, Dras, D-R-A-S-S, Dras, where temperature reaches to minus 45 degrees Celsius. Here it comes to 10 degrees Celsius. Here it is 10 degrees Celsius. Here it is nearly 15 degrees Celsius, but here it is 28 degrees Celsius. So you can see within our same country, within a same season, with the temperature element, there is a variation of the readings of the temperature. Okay, there is a regional variation. This is Himalayan region, this is desert region, this is plateau region, this is eastern mountainous region. Okay, I have taken 4 pockets of our country. Now let us take the next element, that is precipitation. Now if we take precipitation, here rainfall is 10 centimeters. Here also it is nearly 10 to 15 centimeters, but here it is 400 centimeters. Here somewhere also, here we are getting nearly 200 centimeters in the central part. In the edges we are getting 400 centimeters. So if we take here also we are getting 400 centimeters. It's annual precipitation, it's annual rainfall. Okay, 400 centimeters. Now if we see again entire country, it is one element, that is rainfall. So here we are getting 10 centimeters, or just ranging between 10 to 15 centimeters. Here also 10 centimeters, that is western part, northern part, northeastern part, central part of our country, southwestern part of our country, southeastern part of our country, where the variations of the rainfall are there. So this is considered as a regional variation of climate. It's already been given in the notes, just follow it. Now if we see the rainfall precipitation form, here we all get the rainfall, but here we are getting snowfall. So there is a variation of the form of the precipitation too. So this is considered as a regional variation in the climatic condition. Hopefully the concept is clear to everybody. Now let us proceed to the next part. Now why do we have so? Why the climatic conditions vary from, or the regional variation within that climatic condition is there? What is the reason behind it? Now the first one is the latitude. You can see a latitude, this part is there, and you can see it is a symbolic earth over here, and the sun rays here also you can see the sun rays are there. Now here you can see the length of the sun rays, and here you can see the length of the sun rays. So the places which is located over here, they will receive very direct sun rays, and gradually which are places which are away from the equator, the length of the sun rays increases. They becomes much more vast, they becomes much more lengthier. So that means the heat reaching that part is comparatively less. So what is the resultant? Due to this curvature of the earth, the energy or the solar radiation that is received by the entire earth's surface, it varies. Where it is direct, the temperature will be high. Where it is delayed, the temperature will be low. And when there is a variation in temperature, what is directly connected to that? That is pressure. Higher the temperature, lower is the pressure. Lower the temperature, higher is the pressure. So this is the first climatic control, that is latitude. Now next move to the second, altitude. It is the second, altitude. Now just let me explain again with this whiteboard. When we move, I'm just drawing a symbolic mountain. In this part, the temperature conditions will be comparatively high. Suppose this is Siliguri. Suppose this is Siliguri. You are moving to Siliguri. Now it's a period of a lockdown. Just imagine you are there to spend your vacation, bit a smaller vacation, and from this scorching heat, you just want to enjoy the that is the pleasant environment of Darjeeling. So now you are there in Siliguri. You have just there to get the vehicle to move to, this is Darjeeling Hill. This is Darjeeling Hills. Okay. Here when you are there in the car, you are with your normal attire, with your trousers and with your t-shirts, or that is whatever it is, you are having your cotton attires. But gradually when you are moving to the higher region, what happens? You quickly take out your woolen clothes and you wear it. Why? So what does this indicates? When height increases, temperature decreases. When height increases, temperature decreases. And this is termed as normal. It is termed as normal lapse rate. It is termed as normal lapse rate. With every increase of 165 meter, I am using the word meter, with every increase of 165 meter, there is a decrease of 1 degree Celsius. There is a decrease of 1 degree Celsius, and this is termed as normal lapse rate. So what does this indicate? The places which are located in a low-lying areas, there the temperature condition is high, and the places which are located at a higher altitudinal areas, the temperature condition is low. So again there will be a variation of the pressure conditions. So that is what there, as one goes from the surface of the earth to the higher altitude, the atmosphere becomes less dense, and that is the reason temperature decreases. Now we all know when the mountaineers are there, they carry oxygen cylinders. So why temperature atmosphere becomes less dense over there? Because oxygen is comparatively a heavier gas, which is very much closer by to the earth's surface, that is the low-lying surface. But as we climb the mountainous track, the quantity or that is the amount of oxygen decreases, and that is why mountaineers always carry oxygen cylinders when they climb the mountainous track, and this is the reason why temperature decreases with increase in height. Clear? So this is the second factor. Third factor is the pressure and the wind system. Now pressure is directly connected to the temperature. So you can see it's a diagrammatic representation of the pressure belts. Now this is the pressure belt of the equatorial zone. Equatorial region is always having high temperature. So it will have a belt of low pressure. Alternately we are having a zone of low pressure, high pressure, low pressure, high pressure. So where there is a high pressure, it will just allow the winds to move. You can follow the arrows. The zone of low pressure means winds are coming from winds are coming from high pressure to low pressure. Now it is a zone of high pressure, and here we are having a zone of low pressure. Winds are moving from high pressure to low pressure. Again, polar area is a zone of high pressure. Winds are coming from polar high pressure to subpolar low pressure. This happens in both the hemisphere, whether it is for the northern hemisphere or whether it is for the southern hemisphere. So you have just to keep it in mind, where there is a zone of low pressure, it will be a belt of attraction, and where there is a zone of high pressure, it will be a belt of discharging of the winds or releasing of the winds. So in this way, the pressure and the wind system influences the climatic condition. Now just move on to the next part. Next part is related to the distance from the sea. Now a map is given over here. You can see it is a coastal area. You can see this is the coastal belt of our country. This southern part is the coastal belt of our country. Now you can see the two pictures. One is land breeze and another one is sea breeze. Now during the daytime, land surface gets heated up faster. So when land surface gets heated up faster, what is the happening? It creates a low pressure over here. So sea breezes move towards the land during the daytime, and during the night time it's just the vice versa. The land cools down faster, so it develops a zone of high pressure. So winds move from land to ocean. Land breeze and the sea breeze. Due to the influence of this land breeze and the sea breezes, the temperature condition is moderate throughout the year. Just recall it when I showed the regional variation for the temperature condition. Whether it is summer season, whether it is winter season, I wrote the degree in the southern part 28 degree. So why it is moderate throughout the year? Due to land breezes and the sea breezes. Okay. So the places which are there in the coastal areas, they are getting the influence of these two local breezes, and the places which are located away from the coastal areas, they are not getting any sort of influence of these two local breezes. So here the temperature conditions becomes extreme. So we term it, here it is having extreme climatic condition, and here we are using the term equable type of climatic condition. So we got two types of climate due to the coastal locations and away from the coast or distance from the sea. What are those two types of climates? Those two types of climates are number one is extreme climate, and number two is equable climate. Equable climate. What will be the difference? Number one, it is interior parts of the country where we experience extreme type of climate, interior parts, and where we experience equable climate, that is coastal areas. We experience equable climate in the coastal areas. Number two, huge variations of the temperature. So temperature variations are there. And here temperature is same throughout the year, no variations. Next, what will be the next difference? Third, no influence of local breezes, and here there is influence of local breezes. There is influence of local breezes. Okay, and what will be the last point? What will be the last point? Extreme climates are also termed as continental climates. Continental climates, and these are termed as, that is equable climate is termed as maritime. Maritime means oceanic part. Maritime, as it is influenced by ocean, it is termed as maritime climate. So these are the basic differences between the two types of climate that is there due to the influence of or due to the coastal locations. Okay, so this is the next factor. Now let us move to the oceanic currents. That is the fifth factor of the climate, oceanic currents. Now you can see the two colors of arrows are there. The red one indicates the warm oceanic currents and the blue one indicates the cold oceanic currents. So the places where we are having that warm oceanic currents, so oceanic currents influences the coastal areas. So where there is a presence of warm oceanic currents, the coastal areas will get influenced due to this warm oceanic currents, and where we are having the cold oceanic currents, the areas adjacent to that cold oceanic currents will get its influence. So the temperature will be more of that water surface where we are having warm oceanic currents, and the temperature conditions will be low where we are having cold oceanic currents. So the onshore and the oceanic currents along with the onshore winds, onshore, shore means coast, affects the climate of the area. For example, any coastal areas with warm or cold ocean currents flowing fast, it will be warmed or cooled if the winds are onshore. That means if the winds which are coming from the that is the land area and it is getting impact of that, suppose a wind is coming from the Indian landmass and when it comes to the oceanic part, it is having a warm oceanic currents. So if it is a cold air, it will quickly change its temperature condition with the influence of oceanic currents. So in this way the temperature condition is influenced due to oceanic currents, specifically near the coastal areas. Now the last climatic control is the relief feature. Now you can see the map of India. Just a bit is been drawn. Now this map of India indicates what? This is our mountainous part. This entirely is the Himalayan mountains. We have studied in the previous chapter. This is the Himalayan mountain. Now winds which are coming from this Tibetan region. Tibetan region is a cold desert. So the winds which are coming from this Tibetan region, it is being blocked by this Himalayan mountain. It is unable to cross the Himalayan region, and as a result our country is safe from the cold chill winds coming from the Central Asia or from the Tibetan part. And another part from the oceanic body, the winds which are moving, it is not crossing our country. Now suppose if this Himalayan region is not there, there was no Himalayas in our country, so these oceanic or the moisture laden winds would have crossed our country and would have reached to this Asian part. And what would have been the climatic condition of our country? Entire country would have been arid land like that of Thar desert. But it is not a Thar desert. The whole country is not a arid land. The whole country is not like that of Thar desert. Why is it so? Because there is a relief, there is a mountain, there is a barrier that is blocking the moisture laden winds and not creating the entire country or developing our entire country into a desert. So this is the importance of a relief in the climatic control. Hopefully all the factors are clear to each and every student. I have explained as to my level. Further, if you are having any doubts, just mention it in the comment section. And thank you for following my today's class. Have a nice day.